What's going on, everybody? It's me, DreeZ. I'm doing the podcast style tonight. I'd like to say welcome to DreeZ Live number 73. La Isla, Los Problemas. You know what I'm saying? I will be with my guests in a few minutes. First off, as we do, let me give a shout out to Paul on Parole and Can B who in the room. I know there's a couple of y'all in here watching as well. Make yourself known. And while you're making yourself known, go on wipe your foot on the rug before you come on in the house to talk to DreeZ. You know what I'm saying? Late night DreeZ. You know, that's my staple show. I'm gonna be doing it every other now and again. Possibly every 2 nights. I've been slipping, but then again, I ain't slipping. I just been working my ass off trying to make money for that next excursion you did. But nevertheless, man, go ahead, y'all go ahead and make yourself known. You know what I'm saying? Where y'all checking in from? You know what I'm saying? I know where Can be from. Paul on Parole. You know, what precinct you in right now, bro? Holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? You know, and as far as y'all traveling to different countries, $1 here gets you $5.16, not 74 cents in Brazil. 58.4 damn, I didn't save it. 58.4 Dominican, 34.65 Colombian, as well as 20 Mexican. It even gets you 83.2 Argentine pesos. You know what I'm saying? I had it updated, but it didn't update. At least it didn't update yet. You know what I'm saying? Got to give a shout out to the folks that just hit that like button. I got 15 in here. I got 5 likes. I even got a dislike. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand the haters. I don't know why you want to hate, but it's a new year coming, so the haters I could do without. You don't need haters to let you know you're doing good. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, 17 people in the chat room. You know what I'm saying? Late, excuse me. I'm so busy. I've been so busy doing late night dreams. I can't tell the difference between DreeZ Live and late night dreams. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But I am glad that y'all are here tonight on this nice and chilly Wednesday here in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? And most definitely, it is going to be a barn burner tonight. So to be. Once again, let me give a shout out to Paul on Parole. What's going on with you, play? I know you've been here. You was here first. You've been waiting a minute, man. You know what I'm saying? Another shout out again to motherfucking KMB. You know what I'm saying? K Dot is in the building. I'm on this other phone, so my shit is just going all kind of ways, man. That is K Dot is up in here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to JBJ. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to KC, formerly a KC Mindset. You know what I'm saying? It said they're both Drees, so that's what matters. Indeed, man. Indeed. Can't pad most city getting the rain tonight. Must be a Lakers fan up in here. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm trying to wait to see how many. See if I can get 20 to 30 up in here before the next, say, what, 5 minutes. And I can go ahead on and start my interview. And before I get into the interview, I like to ask all my viewers, all my subscribers, definitely my subscribers, to be respectful of my guests. You have a question, ask the question honorably, respectfully. I'll have it no other way. You know what I'm saying? That way we can have us a good show. I give you some good content. You know what I'm saying? And most definitely, it'd be something that could be watched again and again and again. You know what I'm saying? For say teaching purposes. You know what I'm saying? And let me go ahead on and give a shout out to my motherfucking self for honoring the $2 challenge. You know what I'm saying? You can do so as well if you like. You could do it. You could do it here on Cash App. I mean, you could do it here on the Super Chat. or you can do it on the Cash App, man. But either way it go, what you are doing is that you are donating to the platform, and I'm gonna use it to do something under the umbrella of travel, no matter what it is, whether it's travel itself or something to be used while I'm traveling. You know what I'm saying? I got my eyes on a, GoPro. I'm gonna go get it sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? But to all of my people that are here, of course, if you have any suggestions or questions, put them in the chat at this time. You know what I'm saying? Please put them in the chat at this time. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. I'm waiting on new boots on ground footage. I'm supposed to be getting some new footage from Brazil, but brother is guess he's busy doing some things. So I just didn't get the footage today. You know what I'm saying? But wherever you go, players, I advise y'all not to be a giant. Wherever you go. I'll be right back with my guest for the night.
This is John. This is what happens when John goes to the Dominican Republic.
These niggas throwing dollars. Niggas throwing dollars out here. Niggas throwing dollars. Niggas throwing dollars. These niggas fucking up shit.
Don't be a John. Now back to the motherfucking show.
And we're back. And I'm back here with my man Jay Flex. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, what's going on, Jay? How you doing?
All right, all right. Go on and introduce yourself, man. Tell them who you are, man.
Oh, for sure, man. Jay Flex from Miami, 32 years old. Been traveling now like the past 3 years. Been to maybe about 12 countries, from anywhere from Cuba, Trinidad, Barbados, Colombia, Mexico, Canada. I've been a few places. So, um, solo traveler, working finance. Been doing that for about 7 years. So. Looking into getting into some real estate over in Colombia, doing some rental properties with a friend of mine. So that's on the agenda for next year. But other than that, man, that's pretty much a quick synopsis about myself.
Indeed. So when you're talking about doing that real estate in Colombia, is that gonna be buying a property that's already fixed or something from the ground up?
Nah, something that needs demolition work. Going in with um, something that I don't have to put up too much capital to acquire right away, and just put a little bit of money into it, because it's much cheaper to get jobs and projects done like that over there versus the States. And of course, you know that. Uh, and doing it that way, and then putting it on Airbnb and renting it out, man, it's a lot of money to be made in the right areas in Medellin, Colombia. So that's a lot of people is jumping on that wave right now, and I'm definitely jumping on board as well. So yeah, that's the plan.
Indeed. Where. Shout out to Roller Tape, for accepting the $2 challenge. You heard me? Shout out to Roller Tape, man. That's another brother you need to go ahead on and check out when you get a chance. So
Bro,
subscribe to
hey,
him too if you haven't.
yeah,
You
I
know,
believe I subscribed to him earlier today. Yeah. Actually, we rapped earlier today. We supposed to be doing something on his channel too, probably tomorrow. So, yeah, shout out to Roller Tape for sure.
indeed. So you also do remote work. That's something I'm looking to get into as well. You know, uh, what were
Yeah.
qualifications that you needed to get into the field of remote work in which you are in?
Well, to be honest with you, man, I was blessed, because of the pandemic, actually, to be able to transition into full remote. Before, I was in a normal office setting, so most people that could work remote was forced to work remote because of the pandemic this year. So I just went ahead and talked to my bosses and their overhead about, hey, transition full time, because it's going well into next year anyway. The majority of people that's working remote. So I kind of stumbled on it because of the pandemic, but I mean, it worked in my favor. So now I have more flexibility. I can co-live in Colombia for a few months out of the year, set up shop there, get my business going, and be back and forth. So yeah, there wasn't really specific qualifications. It was just, you know, I had to work remote, and I just played it to my advantage because I was still being productive, and I could do the same job functions in the office setting that I can do remote. Actually, I was more productive being at the crib remote and not having to have people in my face all day. I can concentrate more and work at my own pace, you know. So
Right.
yeah, that's how I end up in a position now working remote, man. But you know, I mean, I'm sure that's all. It depends on your job criteria and what you have to do. Um, you know, to try to determine like any type of qualifications to be able to do that type of work. Um, but what do you do, if you don't mind me asking? What kind of work do you do that you're looking into?
Oh man, I'm just a worker for the we do all I do is I'm a loader all day, bro. I don't even
Okay.
drive the trucks anymore. I just load trucks. I'm one of those brown collar guys, not white or blue, brown collar.
I feel you. Right,
Sweating all day.
right.
But but if I got breath in my body in 2021, that's coming to an end. I'm gonna find my way into some type into the remote field myself.
Yeah,
Whether
that's. Go ahead.
I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If it's I was looking at trying to do something for Amazon, but the guy from Amazon said all of his remote opportunities are gonna end in June. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm looking at a possibly getting into collections.
Okay. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's definitely something that you can do remote. Because all you do is sit behind a computer all day anyway, and everything
yeah,
is voice over IP, and so
right.
um,
That's the only
yeah,
thing that that's the only thing that I know I'm gonna hate. You know what I'm saying? I won't sit
right,
behind no computer all day. But
yeah.
for what I'm concerned, if you work a remote, you could pretty much make your own hours, correct?
Well, again, it depends on who you're working for. What kind of work you do. Like for me, I'm on a salary, but I do work a shift. But I do have flexibility. So generally, I work, for example, 7:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. But if I needed to come in at 10:30, and leave at 7:30 or something like that, it wouldn't be a problem. You know,
Right.
um, so I have that flexibility. I just stick to a normal routine because it worked better for me. I'm an early bird. I get up early. I like to get my work done, so I had the rest of the evening to do what I got to do. Um, but yeah, it depends. It just really depends on your employer, man, mostly, and what their rules are. But I'm confident that come 2021, probably like in the spring, man, it's going to probably be more remote jobs out there available that you'll be able to apply for, and I'm sure you could find you something that you could
Yeah,
transition.
it's gonna be something out there because
Yeah,
you know, uh, I mean, I'm not the most tech savvy,
right.
computer literate guy, but I'm pretty sure it's something out there where I can at least speak to people or something like that. You
Yeah,
know,
man, it's plenty of.
read the paper and tell the people what to do and all that kind of stuff.
Right, man. Nah, it's
Because
definitely jobs out there.
I be having people calling me and they be trying to I guess they be trying to bribe me or whatever, or scam me or whatever, and I be hearing
Right.
people in the background laughing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Oh
I be
man,
like, man, yeah,
a lot of it.
some of that shit crazy though. I just hope I don't run into none of that. I hope I find me something that's
Right.
and nice and honest.
Honest, I got you. I'm sure you can. You will be able to, man. I have no doubt because that's the new wave now. A lot of companies are transitioning to remote. They're saving a lot of money on overhead and It's just finding people being more productive. So I don't think you're gonna have any problems at all finding something. To be honest with you.
All right. Well, I just did a live with interview with somebody about 2 weeks ago, man,
Okay.
and she works remote, and she's got something going on over there in Brazil.
Okay.
So I'm talking with her, and she was like, "Yeah, you can send me your information." I'm like, "Wait a minute, I supposed to work for the company. Now for you, it was like this Asian version of Amazon, but they do like household products. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?" And so she was like, "You can send me your information." I was like, "No, I send the information to the company I'm supposedly working for." So she give me the link, and ain't nothing ever come up yet. You know what I'm saying? And they got videos on YouTube and everything.
She might have sent you the wrong link. I would just reach back out to her and double check that she gave you the right link. You know, just to cover that base, because it could be
Yeah,
something
I'm
just as
sure I
simple as
told her,
that.
but you know, I'm gonna call and holler at her though. Cause she
Right.
seemed like she was an honest person or whatnot. But then
Okay.
again, those honest persons can be those ones that can get you.
Oh,
You know
that's
what
a
I'm saying?
seamless segue. There we go. Let's go ahead and segue to it.
Ah,
There you
you
go.
got that. You got that. You got that.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I tell you what, bro. We gonna start with the pre-trip, bro. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? In your pre-trip, I know you're not. You know you could go out there and find you one, and go and have your Bible study or whatnot. But a lot of us, if we could find one that we could trust, we probably would settle down just like it was a girl there around the corner, man. So
Right.
if you don't mind me asking, man, how did you meet this lady?
Well, I'm gonna keep it real, man. That's what we're gonna do today on this show. Everything is gonna be 100 all the way through. So well, initially, it didn't start out that way. That wasn't the intention. So I met this girl in January of this year. This was pre-pandemic. It was my first time in Medellin. I was with 5 of my homeboys. So we went to Medellin. We rented a spot out there. We went out there to trick off, have some fun, tour the city. So she was a working girl at one of the strip clubs out there. The name of the strip club is called Fase Dos. So whoever's been to Medellin before, I'm pretty sure they've heard it or they're familiar with it. So she was working at the club, but I didn't pull her out of the club. I ended up actually seeing her on the street like a couple days later on, and I rushed her, talked to her, got her number. So we linked up when we were there a couple times, but it wasn't anything that I had any intentions on actually keeping up with. I kept the number obviously, but when I left Medellin, I didn't really talk to her again for about another month, maybe towards the latter part of February. So that was right around the time when the pandemic hit and they got ready to start locking stuff down. I was planning to come back to Medellin in April, but obviously I couldn't. Stuff got locked down.
Yeah.
So the girl, after about a month after I left, she hit me up. We communicated for a little bit, but it still wasn't really consistent. Not until about the latter part of April. Latter part of April hit, we started talking more. She started hitting me up every day, and we just started talking. So I don't know if, well, I'm not going to say I know. I know for a fact, actually, that being in the pandemic, stuff being locked down, you can't move around. You can't really do what you normally able to do. I mean, I'm a brother that's been traveling at least 3-4 times a year on average the past few years. So being on lockdown, I mean, you don't have really nothing but time on your hands if you move around like that. So I started talking to her, communicating with her on a day-to-day basis. And everything was good, man. I started taking an interest to the chick because she seemed like she had a different mindset. She wasn't asking for no bread, no money, or anything like that right
Wait,
off.
wait. The Colombiano never said ayúdame.
What now?
She never
Oh,
said ayúdame. She
help
never
me.
said help me.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Besides you to me, are you done, man? You got me. I was like, what? I got you.
Oh,
She never asked me at that particular time. Now this is still towards the beginning part, like the first couple. I'll say about the first 3 months we were talking. She never asked for anything. We were just talking, video chat, blah blah blah, getting to know each other. So, like I said, man, she expressed different interests in doing things, as far as wanting to open up a business and a lingerie game and stuff like that. But it was just casual conversation. But it was stimulating. I'm like, damn, she a little different than what I thought she would be. I know she a dancer, but I'm sure some of them girls that actually have desires to do stuff different, but circumstance. It ain't like it is in the US. Like I get it. But after about maybe 3 months of talking to her, and that's when she started with the slow um, asking, for little things, hey, the pandemic is still here and stuff like that. It's been tough. I wanna go to school. I want to do this, but it's hard, and it's hard for me to eat, and I'm staying with my friend, blah blah blah. So I went ahead and rolled the dice. I started helping out, sending her a little bit of money, $50 here. Started off real light, you know. Next thing you know, I'm sending her $150, to help her out, stuff that she said that she needed, because I started liking the chick. So what got me was she told me, she was like, listen, um, I got money saved up. I'm going to, I want to get a place, but I know I'm not going to be able to afford to go back to school and pay for my place and still have money to survive because I'm not working anymore. Obviously, I'm not dancing anymore. I'm not trying to dance. I really want to do something different. And she was telling me, she was like, hey, I had this gig that I can teach little kids like dance lessons and charge the parents, obviously, for dance lessons because I've been going to school for dance before. That's what I actually do. Like I wasn't just dancing that night. I actually dance like choreography group type dance. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I knew the pandemic was going on. So I'm like, all right, well, I know stuff is shut down. I know that you can't really move around like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and help the chick out. So I took a chance. I invested in her. I gave her some money to help her get an apartment. Because she was like, I want to stay on my own. If me and you going to be dating, it'll just benefit you. If me and you going to be dating and you want to come here to Medellin all the time, obviously you can come stay with me. We're going to be rocking together anyway. And it just makes more sense. So logically to me at the time, because again, I'm liking this chick. I'm like, you know what? It is an investment. I can help her get a spot. And she already told me that she just wanted me to help her get the spot, pay it up for a few months until stuff opened back up and she could start working and she'll be able to handle stuff on her own. That's the game she ran with me. At the time, I went with it. Looking back in retrospect now, obviously, it was a dumb decision. But
well, did she get the spot?
she got the spot. Yeah, she got the spot. She got the spot.
Where
I
is
know
it?
she got. Go ahead.
So where is it?
It's in Medellin. It's in a town called Itagüí. It's like
Okay.
it's a suburb, like more of a kind of smaller,
South,
quiet town. Yeah,
yeah, it's south of Poblado. I know where it's at.
correct. Right. So she got the spot over there. Now, at this time, we talking about this is like the end of August going into September. Now, I hadn't seen this chick since January, so we both dying to see each other, right? So I don't know if you remember, but the first place that you can fly to as soon as they lifted restrictions was Cartagena if you was coming from the United States. This is back in September, this past September. That was the first place that you can actually fly into. You couldn't go into any other city. So, I want to see this girl bad. I invested this money into her. I'm like, I'm hoping that it pans out the way that I'm thinking it's gonna pan out. But I'm like, all right, I gotta go to Cartagena. I gotta go to Cartagena. So I end up spending more money because I ended up going to Cartagena. That was more like a vacation. I, I went there for like a week. I flew her there from Medellin, and we met up there. We hung out there for a week. Everything was good. Everything was good there. I mean, she was, you know, personality was what I expected. Everything was cool. She had a real good vibe to her. So I'm like, all right. Seemed like I did well with this one. I mean, I rolled the dice, but she seemed all right. So boom. I wasn't sweating the money at the time because I'm like, you know what? I like the chick, and I'm gonna make the money back anyway. I'm not gonna invest more than I can stand to lose. That's just my motto when it comes to stuff like that. Um, so fast forward, and after we left Cartagena, I had told her, she already had the spot and everything. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna come see you in November. I'm gonna come stay for a month. It's your birthday in November. I'm gonna come. We're gonna do something over there. I'm gonna come stay with you for a month. She's like, all right, that's cool. So I'm like, all right. I made plans and preparations to come. This chick catches COVID. As soon as she gets back from Cartagena, the end of September, early October, like a week later, she gets sick. She catches COVID. So I'm not thinking, I'm like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come or not because she got COVID. That takes some time, more than a few weeks to recover. But she was down for about a month, you know. And she had to get retested out there and got cleared. But the reason I bring that up just to kind of bridge everything together is that between that month, she was at the crib. She wasn't able to do anything. You know what I mean? So I had to invest more money. I had to send her some bread to help her out because she couldn't move around. She like, I can't even get up and go try to do any of these gigs because I got COVID, nigga. Like, ain't nothing I can do. I gotta be quarantined. So I'm like, all right, I get it. Bad luck, whatever. At this point, I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I send you a couple $100 to make sure you're good. I just want to make sure you're good. So when I come there, you can get yourself together so I can get there when I'm supposed to get there the end of November. If not, I'm like, we're gonna have to push it back. So she recovered on time. So the chick tells me, she's like, look, I'm gonna go see my peoples the weekend before my birthday. That's when I was supposed to come. And she was like, if you can, come Monday. Like I'm gonna leave that Friday before, and I'm gonna just go for the weekend to go see my people because she's not from Medellin. She just lives there. She's from another city. So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So I come there. I pack up for a month. I get there. First day I get there, and I greet her at the airport and everything, and we hung out, went back to her place, got settled, got something to eat, met up with my boy. Now I got a boy that's out there. He's been out there for 5 years. He's been doing the investing. He's the one that's been kind of schooling me to the game to help me get started. So he's really familiar with these girls, man. And he's really familiar with personality traits and everything because he's been out there so long. He's dealt with so many different types of them, especially the ones that's from these clubs and stuff. So when I have lunch with him that same day, I'm dying for him to meet her and shit, So I'm like, hey, let's go meet up for lunch. We did that. So after we had lunch, I asked him, I'm like, yo, what you think? So he's my boy. We've been knowing each other for a long time. He was like, yo, to be honest with you, he was like, I don't like it. I'm like, what you mean? He was like, you too good for her, man. I'm like, what you mean? He was like, that ain't, he laughed. He's like, that ain't the type of girl that you looking for. He's like, I know you. He was like, no disrespect, because I know that's your little lady. You claim that's your little lady, and I don't want to come off like disrespecting you, but I'm your boy. Like I could talk to you like this, like like it ain't. I don't like it. But he's like, but he was like, you already invested, money and time into it and stuff like that. He's like, hey man, right? Maybe I might be wrong. He was like, but I don't see it, working out. So, I could take the criticism. I ain't that type of dude. I'm like, I bet, I appreciate, you telling me how you feel, but it started getting me to thinking a little bit. But again, that was the first day. That kind of went in one
Right.
ear and not the other. I'm like, man, I'm trying to have fun so I can get back to this crib, you know, do what I got to do. You already know, trying to keep it PG. But,
Right. Right.
um,
But
right.
but let me stop you a second.
Go ahead.
You know, brother in the conversation was like, is asking kind of like what she looked like, man. But
Oh,
we're
well,
talking about this girl here,
yeah, that girl right there, man.
correct?
Yes,
All
that
right.
is correct. Yeah, this girl
Go
right
ahead,
there.
continue.
Um, so yeah, man. So where was I? Okay, so after we had lunch, went back to her house. It's her birthday on that actual date, so she wanted to do a like a little massage treatment at the house. People come to the house to do it. Didn't cost a lot of money, man. In Colombia, in comparison to the States, I'm like, okay, cool. That's what you want to do for your birthday. It's your birthday. There you go. Boom. So we did that. Had a good night. Night capped. Everything was good after that. The next 2-3 days of being there, chick did a complete 360. A complete
Uh,
360. Like
oh,
it went from, you know, me being like, the affection that me and her had that first day or that first night, it was just completely non-existent. Chick was on the go. It almost like I was like an accessory bag almost, or she thought I was gonna be an accessory bag. Like just, you know, hey, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, babe, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, running around like crazy. I'm like, hey, you know, I understand you got stuff to do and I get that, but you got your man's over here that came all the way from the States to see you, that's been spending all this bread and making sure you right. Like you can't sit down for a minute, man, and make sure that I'm good, or you running 100 miles per hour. So it seemed like that didn't even phase chick. I tried to talk to her about that after a couple of days, and not just that, but sex was non-existent after that first day. Like, I mean,
no.
I came there on a Monday, and we had sex that one day, and there was no more sex
Bible
after that.
Bible study. Just say Bible study, bro.
Bible study, my bad, Bible study. Yeah, so we had Bible study once, and it wasn't no more Bible study going on. Bible study ain't going on for the rest of that week. So after a few days, I questioned her about it, and I started getting frustrated, man, because it just kind of seemed like she didn't care. Like it was going to one ear, not the other. And I'm like, yo, something ain't right. I like real quick after a couple of days, I'm like, something ain't right with this, man. Like this ain't adding up, you know. So I kind of started pressing her a little bit about it, like, hey, it's we need to talk to me and let me know something because I'm about to flex. Like literally, I'm about to get up out of here, cut my losses. Like I'm not gonna sit here for no 2, 3, 4 weeks and be trying to press you for some Bible
What you
study
supposed to
lessons.
get?
Yeah, and I'm like, that's the same. If anything, dudes shouldn't be having an issue with like having Bible study lessons, man. I mean, everything like that should be a given, So I'm like, man, maybe she got another dude or something in the background. I don't know, but I'm like, I ain't feeling it. So in fairness, I tried to talk to the chick. Like I said, I tried to talk to her a couple of days, and I think what made me make the decision that I need to leave her alone was Thanksgiving Day, because it was during that week. Thanksgiving fell on a Thursday, like always, and I had already invited her to my boy's crib, the same boy that said that he wasn't feeling it. So prior to me going, me and my boy had already discussed that, I was gonna bring her there. He lives with his chick. He got a chick out there as well. And he's like, all
Right.
right, cool. What is she like? So I asked her, I'm like, yo, my boy wants to know what you like to eat so he can get it from the store for you. So she tells me, I tell him. He asks her, he's like, yo, what kind of liquor she like? I asked her, she's like, oh, I love tequila. So he goes and buys like a $200 bottle of tequila, just to show love, just because I'm there visiting him. I got the chick that I'm dating. He's like, you know what? I want everybody to have such a good time. I'm gonna go just spend a crazy amount of money on liquor, you know, just for the vibe and the cause. And I take this girl to this man's house, and she completely embarrasses me, man. Like when I say antisocial, sitting in the corner, not talking to
No,
anybody, people looking at her like, yo, what's wrong with this girl? My boy's chick is like, hey, you want something to eat? She gets the food. She barely eats it, and she tells me she doesn't like the food. And I'm like, you told me this what you like. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, this girl like bipolar. I'm like, what? I'm really like confused. And I'm like, my boy asked her, he's like, hey, let's take some shots. She's like, oh no, I'm not drinking. And my boy gets pissed. He's like, but you sat in my face when we was at lunch and told me you like tequila. So now all of a sudden you don't want to drink, and so my boy's like, and I ain't gonna get hot because, I'm gonna be the bigger person. I just talked to my mans later about it. So, the vibe was off. She could tell the vibe was off. And she left. She literally told me while I was at my boy's house, she was like, hey, I'm gonna go get food and head to the house. I'll see you when I get back to the house. You got a key. And I'm
man.
just like, dang, like that's not embarrassing. That is like first time bringing, going doing Thanksgiving in Medellin with my boy, and I'm bringing this girl, and she acting like that. So
Right.
from that day, I knew it wasn't. I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to cut bait. Like this ain't, I'm like, it's just a convenience thing for her at this point. The security when it comes to the money that I was spending over the course of the past few months, and she knowing that I'm there and I got it to make sure that she supported through that time. I'm like, she just riding the wave. You know what I mean? And I put it to the test every night. Every night I came up until I got ready to leave the end of that weekend. I tried to, still be nice to her, be affectionate. Chick completely shut down, So I was like, you know what? I don't know what's going on. I tried to talk to her. She tried to flip the script and make it seem like it was my fault. That was the funny part. Like she tried to make it seem like I was the one not being considerate because, her excuse was, well, I'm tired. And you see, I've been moving around. I've been trying to hustle and work during the day. And I'm not making a lot of money. I don't want to keep asking you and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, baby, like, I don't know you trying to run game more. Like you ain't working that hard. That don't justify you not, having Bible
Right.
study for 4-5 days in a row. Like what you talking about right now, man? So I'm like,
Right.
it's cool. You don't want to, obviously if it ain't important to you, then I ain't gonna keep pressing it. I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do, So I had already agreed to go out with her that Friday after with her friends to celebrate her birthday in Medellin.
How
Like
old
we
is she?
had agreed. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
How old is she?
She just turned 22. Young chick. She a younger chick. She just turned 22. So before I got there, like I said, we had already agreed she'll go to my boy's crib and I'll roll out with her to meet her friends. Now she showed out at my boy's crib. What I should have did was told her, no, I ain't going nowhere. Like, for what? Like the way you acted, because I was ticked off about it, And like I said, I tried to talk to her about it, and she just flipping the script, man, not taking accountability or anything, just being acting her age, what you would probably expect from a younger chick. And I'm just like, I'm gonna be the decent dude, and I'm gonna still go out with her, because after we had those issues, she's like, hey, I really hope you still go to the club with me because you're really going to embarrass me if you don't go, because my friends are looking forward to seeing you. I've been talking about you the past few months. If you don't show up, like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm like, you know what? I'll go. Whatever. It's your birthday. I ain't gonna ruin it. I ain't gonna be that dude. But I just make my moves, man. After the very next day, I'm like, I'll go find me a spot and cut bait. Like that was my mindset at the time. And I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm not gonna press it. So I go out with her that Friday. She go out with her friends. going to the club. She's having fun with him. I'm sitting there, obviously, looking like the odd man out. Just I wasn't really
True.
feeling it. Yeah, it just I knew it wasn't the right setup. So at that point, I'm just sitting there, just kind of like going through the motion, wasting time and wasting more money, obviously, because still spending money. You out, she want to go and drink all night and do all this. I mean, obviously, I'm the dude rolling with her. That just come with the territory, So I'm like, all right. Friday night passed by. The next day, I go on Airbnb. I find me a spot. I'm like, at this point, I'm done talking, man. I ain't even gonna try. It
Right.
was so apparent that she wasn't even trying to, like, she didn't care. It was just kind of like, he here, and I'ma just milk it for what I can milk it until the wheels fall off. So I find me an Airbnb on Saturday. So Saturday that night, it was a Mike Tyson fight going on with Roy Jones. I'm sure you probably remember that fight. That was that weekend. So I tell her, man, I said, listen, I'm going to watch the fight. All right. I know you're not going to go watch it. I ain't even going to invite you. I'm like, I ain't even going to put myself in that position like I did on Thanksgiving. I'm going out with my dogs to watch the fight. I'm like, she only had one key, right? So she never got a copy of the key made. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, you going to be home tonight? What you doing? Oh, she's like, yeah, I'm going to be home. I ain't going nowhere. I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah, I'm going to be home. I'm just going up the street to get some food with my friend when she come, but I'm going to be at the house. I'm like, I'm like, I don't want to be locked out. And I'm asking her, I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So I left. Went to go watch the fight. I'm with my boys watching the fight at Sweet George's Cafe. So fight ends at like 1 o'clock. So I'm calling her, I'm texting her, no answer. So I'm like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me, man. So I roll the dice. Go ahead.
So your clothes still over there?
My clothes, all my stuff still over there. All still over there. So
no.
Yeah, all my stuff still over there. Yeah, but it's like I said, looking back in retrospect, after I explained how it went down, where the altercation came in, yeah, I should have made a move differently. But at the time, I just, I wasn't really thinking nothing was going to happen. I'm like, man, I'm just going to get my stuff and bounce, But when I called her, she didn't pick up. I called an Uber to her spot. I'm there. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, man. She ain't answering. I go upstairs, ringing the doorbell. She ain't answering. I go downstairs to the lobby. I talk to the dude at the front desk. And I'm like, yo, you seen the chick, man? He's like, man, she left. She never came back. So I'm fuming. I'm like, damn, this girl, I told this girl, you know what I mean? I'm like, she playing with me now. So I had to call my boy that I was watching the fight with, ask him for his address, tell him the situation. He like, yo, man, don't be out in the cold, man. Just come to the crib and crash on the couch. He sent me the address. He's like, we'll figure it out in the morning. I said, all right, bet. So I go to his crib, crash on his couch. 6 o'clock in the morning, I look at my phone. She sends me a text. She's like, I left the keys downstairs. What are you talking about? What the security do? So I'm even more pissed now because I'm like, yo, why you playing with me, man? Like I'm like, I know my Spanish ain't fluent, but it's conversational enough. Like I know how to ask the dude, man. Like you don't think I would, you know what I mean? Like come on, man. So I'm like, all right. Told I text. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna just come through and get my stuff. So I told my boy. My boy had his girl over the crib. She speaks both English and Spanish. She's fluent. She's Venezuelan. So she's like, yeah, let's go get your stuff, man, so you can get up out of there. So we pull up to her crib. I get out. I'm calling her, texting her. She not answering again. I was just like writing her like 30, 45 minutes prior. So I'm thinking she playing. So I go upstairs. I knock on the door. I ring the doorbell. No answer. So I go back downstairs. I go and talk to the security guard. I'm like, yo, listen, man, I need to get my stuff. This chick playing. I don't know if she in the apartment sleep. So the dude, the security guard was like, yo, she came in here 7 o'clock in the morning drunk, like blasted. So he was like, I'm sure she in the passed out right now, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So he go upstairs. She was like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna go upstairs and get her up. So he went upstairs. I guess he was banging on chick's door until she finally answered. I'm downstairs still. I'm waiting down there. My friends are down there with me waiting in the lobby. I guess the security guard tells the girl, like, yo, man, this dude downstairs fuming right now, saying that you got his stuff. So she writes me. She's like, yo, why you showing up to my crib with a bunch of people causing drama? I'm like, I ain't causing drama, Ma. I just want to get my stuff. You already know what it is. We talked about this. I'm good. I'm like, I ain't finna stick around. This ain't what I expected. You on some other stuff. So I'm a flex, you know. So I go upstairs. I'm hot. I come through the door. The security guard standing in the doorway. So I walk through the door. So I asked in Spanish. I said, yo, what kind of games you playing, man? I'm like, you see that I'm texting you and you know I got to get my stuff. So I just kind of walk past her and I go to grab my stuff. So then she turns around, she looks at me, she was like, and she points at the phone. She don't speak no English. So I'm like, what? So she writes me, well, if you're going to leave, I would appreciate it if you would leave me some money so that I can survive for the next few weeks because you know I haven't been working like that. And I look at this chick and I laugh because it was funny to me. I'm like, you want me to give you some money, some more? So you want me to invest more money into somebody that ain't even treating me right? Like you know, like what is? I'm like, yo, something wrong with this girl. I laugh. I'm like, something must really be wrong with you. I'm like, nah, I'm not giving you no bread. You got to figure that out on your own. I'm good. So as I'm telling her that I got my stuff, I'm trying to leave. She's blocking the doorway. She's like, you ain't going nowhere until you give me some money. So I laugh again. I'm like, yo, I'm already pissed off. I'm like, yo, listen, you need to get out of my way. You know, I'm like, I'm not even finna. So she tries to block me. So I'm at this point, I'm just trying to force my way out. I'm just moving her out the way just off of sheer, just my stature. But I mean, she's 120 pounds on a good day. I'm like 190, man. You know, like I'm just pushing her out the way and like just walking right through her. So as I'm doing that, she jumps, like she grabs my neck and yokes me down and shit. Like she literally like grabs my neck and yokes me down. So when she did that, I flipped her over. I just kind of like did a shoulder thrust and flipped over, and she flipped off and hit the ground. And this chick jumped up, man, and came at me with all kind of overhand rights and hooks. I had to grab her arms. I'm like, yo, are you crazy? And then she tried to kick me in my Johnson. I kind of moved to the side. She caught me a little bit, and when I let her go, she grabbed one of my suitcases. Like, dude, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, this was like some crazy strength. Like, I thought the chick was on drugs, man. Like, that suitcase had to be at least like 50 pounds. She grabbed that suitcase with one hand and threw it against the wall. Like, and I was like, God, like, I'm like, yo, are you straight? And she's like, oh, you hit me. My daddy never hit me. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, I didn't hit you. I'm like, yo, you yoked me down. I'm trying to get you off of me because I want to be gone. So chick looks down and realizes she has a bruise on her arm. I swear to God, this chick smiled. She smiled. She was like, heck, well, you're going to jail now. Either you pay me or you're going to jail. So I'm like, what? I'm shell shocked. I'm like, hold on, man. So at this point, the security dude, he's like, I threw my hands up. I'm like, Poppy, come on, man. You were sitting here the whole time. You broke us up. Like, what you? Poppy, like, he told me, he was like, listen, if you take it, like, try to fight it, I got you. But he was like, the police come, they see that mark on her arm, they gonna take you to jail. Or either you're gonna have to spend some money. He's like, ain't nothing I can say. They're gonna tell me to butt out of it. So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So she calls the police. They storm over there. Y'all already know. I'm thinking it's over for me. You know, you got this black dude in here with all these muscles, you know, looking wild, and you got this petite Colombian girl in here with a mark on her arm and a little bitty paper cut on her ankle because we were tussling. it looks wild, aesthetically it looks bad. So honestly, I thought I was going to jail. I just had in my mind, I was like, I'm going to jail. I'm scarred. I'm like, this is a disaster, dog. I came out here with decent intentions, and now this girl gonna roll flip on me like that. So the officer come. I'm trying to talk to him. Of course, he on his tough guy role. Oh, telling me shut up. You got to have respect. All that. I mean, what can I do at that point? I'm like, I ain't gonna make it worse. It's two of him. It's one of me. I'm in foreign territory. So I just sat quiet until, he addressed me. And then I, I addressed him back respectfully. So she tells him that I owe her money from the night before, that I was supposed to pay her friend at the club that we went to for her birthday. Remember, that happened the night before. So I'm like, no, not the night before. I'm sorry. That was 2 nights prior, because this was Sunday by this time. That was 2 nights prior. So that's what she tells the officer.
We're talking about like Isla?
No. This La Isla is that's gonna come in later.
Get to that yet?
Yeah, we ain't get to that yet. I'm talking about the nightclub that I went with her to with her friends that Friday night, after Thanksgiving for her birthday. She told the officer that I the name of that club? Oh man. We actually ended up going to 2. And I want to say one of them was called La Chula or something like that, man. Honestly, I'll find a name and I can let you know later on if you need it. But it was 2 spots we ended up going to that night. I'll get you the names for both of them. But yeah, that's what she told the officer, man. She told the officer that I owed her money. I owed her friend money because I didn't have any money, and her friend paid for everything, and I wanted to skip out on it. And I'm like, oh, this girl. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, this girl is such a fucking. I mean, she's such a liar, Like I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, this girl sitting here telling these bold-faced lies just to get money. So the officer basically like, yo, walk with me in the bathroom. So I'm a little hesitant because, again, I'm in foreign territory. I don't know what these dudes' protocol is, man. I don't know if he's finna hem me up in there or something, and then if I tussle with him and get the best of him, this boy gonna put one in me. That's how I'm thinking. So I'm like, oh, man, what's going on? So I step in there. So he tells me, he's like, listen, I don't care what happened. He was like, all I know is that girl got a mark on her arm. She's saying you got to pay her. And guess what? Somebody got to pay me. You know why? Because y'all made me waste my time coming out here if I'm not taking you to jail. So y'all better figure that out. But somebody giving me some bread or you going to jail, Poppy. So I'm like, oh. So I go out there and I'm fuming, man. I'm fuming. I'm beyond fuming. I try to compose myself. I'm like, Abby, how much money you want? She's like, $1 million, which equates to maybe about $300. So then I was like, I took a deep breath because I'm pissed off. I'm like, I'm getting started. I'm like, this is unbelievable, man. I'm like, who this doesn't happen normally to people. I'm like, damn, did I missed that many red flags? So I'm like, you know what, whatever, man. So I agreed on it. I'm like, whatever. I just want to get my stuff and get out at this point. I'm like, 300, whatever. I done spent more than that this week trying to do stuff for you for your birthday and all this other stuff every day. And I'm just like, whatever. So I guess Chick got real bold. So Chick said, you know what? I thought about it. $2 million. So I looked at her. At that point, I was about to tell dude, hey man, just cuff me, man. Cause she done lost her mind. But my friends had already came upstairs because the security guard had told them downstairs what was going on. So they were at the doorway. So they were trying to talk to the officer and kind of like be in between, like, yo, you don't see this? Like, she extorting the man. And the officer like, ain't got nothing to do with me. That I'm just, hey. So I, at this point, I'm just like, I chuckle and I look at her and I'm like, damn. I'm like, so it was all about the bread. I'm like, okay, I see that, but I'm like, you really gonna be nasty like that? That chick looked me in my face and said, I don't care. in English. She don't even speak English like that. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, oh, really? She was like, hey, you either pay or you don't go see your kids for Christmas. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. I'm like, damn, that's some next level code right there. I'm like, I'm like, damn. Like I sat there for like 2 minutes just in shock. Like, damn. Why she sat there and smiled in my face, man. So I said, you know what? My boy at the door, he was like, Jay, just pay it. You're going to make that money back. I'm like, but damn, that's 600. I'm like, all the bread I done spent. I'm like, I said, you know what? My freedom, my kids, all that is more important. I made a bad decision. I'm going to just chalk it up. I said, you know what, sweetheart? Don't worry about it. I'm going to go get the money. I told my boy at the door and his girl, I said, yo, take me to an ATM. Told the officer I'd be back. Went to the ATM. Dog, I'm fuming. I ain't even going to lie to you, the audience. I'm fuming to the point where, like, I ain't tear up in a long time for anything. But it was just the point that I couldn't do nothing about it because I was in foreign territory. I ain't at the crib. That would have never happened to me at the crib. But being that I'm in foreign territory, still have a language barrier, I don't know how the rules work. She had all the leverage. It was her crib. My stuff was in her crib. I gave her the bread to help her get the crib. That crap don't matter. She had all the leverage, so she played it to her advantage. And I had to suck it up. I had to go get that money out, come back there, I don't, to hand somebody $600 and for them to take the money and sit there and count the money, throw the money in the air, it's just all a game, and but when you that nice to somebody and for somebody to do that to you, it's just like, wow, like, damn, like, okay, I'm like, boy, life gonna do something to this chick. It got to, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow, and to add insult to injury, man, when I got back there and gave her the money, one of my bags was missing all of a sudden. So we sat there for another 30 minutes arguing, trying to find out what happened to the missing bag. Now, I had 3 bags. I got back there, it was 2 bags. And I know she had to have done something with the bag because who else going to take the bag? She's swearing up and down. She didn't do anything with the bag. The officers doing the search. They looking out of the balcony window to see if she might have threw it out. Nobody can't find the bag. After 30 minutes, I'm exhausted. I tell my boys, I say, hey, let's just go, man. Like, okay, I lost the bag. I'm already taking L's left and right. Let me just go. I don't want to be around this chick, So I fire off, get ready to go to the Airbnb. When I get to the Airbnb, so when the security guards from the spot called and was like, hey, man, we found your bag. It was on the next floor by the dumpster. So she went and put my bag down there, just playing all kind of nasty games. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, that's how it actually ended. I haven't talked to her since. She sent me a message after that, I guess, trying to, add more insult to injury, basically saying like, hey, man, I bet you won't put your hands on a female again. And this is how things work in Colombia. Some crap she said. But as I explained, it didn't even go down like that, man. I got baited into a situation. Now, in retrospect, if I could have done it all over again, what I should have did was when she told me she wasn't going to get my stuff, I should have just been like, okay, call the police and we'll have them settle it then. She wouldn't have had no mark on her arm. She wouldn't have had any of that. You know what I mean? And it probably would have went in my favor. But being that I was on my Miami shit, you know what I mean? I was already fuming. I'm like, man, what you talking about? Watch out, man. I'm out of here. Like, you ain't gonna tell me I can't take my stuff, and try to force my way out of it. I got caught in the trap. You can tell it was a trap because she smiled. When she seen it, she smells almost like she done that before. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Yeah, that's...
In retrospect, you know what you need to know next time?
What's that?
See that at the screen right there? Know that next time. I tell motherfuckers all the time, can't go over there no week, no 2 weeks, in this case a month, thinking you're gonna be able to find something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
You gotta be over there for a substantial amount of time to see what's really happening, you know.
right,
If you let's say you went over there for 6 months, yeah, you'd have saw all that there. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah,
You
not
probably would cut bait a little earlier because you know you
right,
wasted time. Even though you over there longer time. You know what
right.
I'm
And
saying?
and man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, I tried to preface it by saying, listen, I take full accountability, man. I know that I went into it the wrong way. I didn't give myself time to get acclimated. It was my first time in the country, and like I said, I allowed myself to get caught up maybe in the thought of like, damn, this girl's attractive, you know what I mean? And I can probably try to, show her, hey, I'm a little different than some of the other gringos or whatnot, and maybe I can get her that way. I just took a wrong approach angle on it. And first of all, to be honest with you, I tell anybody now, you got to treat all these chicks the same. They all willing to give it up, man, give up something for some bread. At the end of the day, unless they show you something different, and especially like getting girls that's working at these spots, man. I don't care if they're from a strip club. I don't care if they're from Yellis Park. I don't care if they're from one of them those brothels, New Life. I don't care where they from. If it's from one of them type of establishments, man, you gotta just all put them in that category. I don't care how good that crap sounds coming out their mouth. That's what they programmed to do. They all hardwired the same. I was talking to my boy there. I spent a lot more time with him after it happened because I was there an additional 3 weeks. And honestly, it was a blessing in disguise, man, because if I wouldn't have made that move and went through that, I wouldn't have been able to network with a lot of people. That I networked with some really good people. My boy Scorpio, I hadn't seen him in 15 years. We went to high school together. I wouldn't have bumped into him. I wouldn't even known he was out there. And he's trying to do the same type of business that I'm trying to get into. So it worked out in my favor. I had much more fun, man, after all of that. But my thing is, I just need dudes to know, man, like, you got to be careful, especially if you're coming into a foreign place. You got to get to know the landscape, man. You got to try to get acclimated and familiarize yourself with, you know, just the culture in general. Especially if you're trying to like find normal girls, scenes like that ain't where you want to be going. You do what you got to do. Like my man in the chat say, you know, you pay for play. You do what you got, and then you get up out of there. And just leave it at that. Um,
Yeah,
you
just
know,
just just be a squirrel, man. Just get your nut and go. You know what I
that's
mean?
it. That's it, man. That's that's
You know
that's
what I'm
it.
saying?
Because my thing is like I again all of that. That's on me. Like my boy told me, he like, Jay, you he's like, the rules apply the same as it do at the crib. He was like, a girl wouldn't have did that to you at the crib. You wouldn't have first even tried to even entertain dealing with a trick from the crib that's dancing. So why you gonna do it in Colombia? It's the same thing. The rules still apply the same. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. He like, it's the same thing, man. It's like you can't. The only difference is they speak Spanish. They don't speak no English, really. And that's it, really. It's the same thing. If anything, they're more cutthroat because that's how they're hardwired. They're brought up to think that way. You get what you can get out of these gringos, and a lot of them don't think highly of us anyway. But my whole thing is this, man, and I'm a wrap it up by saying this. I just want dudes to understand that some of these chicks like her will go to that level to do whatever it takes just to try to get money. And I just want dudes to be careful. I want dudes to know who she is, because if she could do that to somebody that was genuinely nice to her over that long course of time, I wouldn't want to deal with a chick like that. That chick is volatile. You don't know, she could be on some, you see her at the club and you want to go and pay for play, and she going and flip the script on you or something. I don't know. Say she want more bread and you don't agree with it, and go online, say you raped her or something. Like, I think about stuff like that. Like, that's some dangerous dangerous type of girls to be dealing with. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, it goes beyond just her finessing. Okay, cool. She get the finesse award of the year. I ain't gonna lie. She did her part. She got me. It is what it is. It's a lesson learned. But the police, like, for somebody to tell you that they don't care if you don't go see your kids for the holidays, nah, player. Nah. She gotta get put on blast. That's some next level. That's nah.
Right.
You know. But hey, life will get her,
Question.
man. What's up?
Question. What did the police get out of it?
Well, she gave him about $100 US. So it was about 300,000 pesos because she paid him before I actually went to go get the money. I seen her pull out the bread out of one of her drawers in the closet and give it to him. So she paid him about $100, and then she basically came up about 500. So yeah, that's what
Right.
they got
Well,
out of it.
let's go ahead on the happen. You said La Isla was down the line. You still got something to say
Well,
about La
yeah.
Isla, right?
So that part,
Wait,
yeah.
wait, wait,
So
wait, wait, wait. Hold on. Let's
all
jump
right,
into these comment sections. I don't want this list to get too long. You know what I'm
all
saying?
right.
Shout out to Dorian. His channel is Forever Dorian. Go over there, check him out, leave a comment, leave a like. Got some nice music going on over there. Go ahead and check out my boy from the Winter City of Chicago, Dorian Forever. Oh, excuse me, Forever Dorian. You know what I'm saying? He was on my panel a few weeks ago, man, talking to me live from Brazil. He says she sounds like a narcissist. Either way, she's trouble. And glad you got it. Oh wait, you know what
Yeah, for
I'm saying?
sure. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree anymore, man. Definitely narcissistic behavior. And it could have been worse. Yeah, I took an L, but man, just imagine if I would have stuck with that, and she would have been playing her role. That would have
Nah,
just been
nah, bruh. You could
what's
have
up.
been the softest. You could have been the softest dude from the states. I don't see soft don't mean stupid. I don't think you would have did that, dog. Nobody would have did that. At least
Right,
nobody I knew would have did that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Shout out Jackie Addison. He says she did do her part. No need to follow up on your end. True that.
True.
But sometimes when you make an investment, sometimes you might feel that need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Vic says she do look older than 22.
Well,
Yeah,
you had some more picks though too. I had sent you a few picks though.
yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do. I need to put it on blast that much. Y'all
I
should be able
mean,
to see this.
whatever suffice, man. I mean,
You know,
I can't wait to get to this La Isla part, man. But she working, so y'all boys will probably see her if you do take a trip
she
to
working
Colombia.
at she working at La Isla.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you how I ended up finding out. This was after the fact, man. After I left, a week after I left, and I was already in my Airbnb, man.
All
Um,
right, we'll get to it in a second.
okay,
Let's see. Osai Setback says, exactly that's why I'm not ducking with these young girls overseas. They still not mature enough to make your main thing. Man, I ain't staying over there permanently. I ain't making nothing no main. Just
right.
just a just a main uh Bible study partner. That's about it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Paul and Peru, you're wrong for that. Rule the tape said she wants you to go and pay for everything. Yep,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yep.
much it.
That was pretty much it. Yeah, that was pretty much it, man.
Shout out to Art Easton. Friends looking for you to pay the tab.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Welcome to my channel. I think this is the first time I see you here on the comment section, man. Welcome. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Milano, the trapper boy in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know what
Shout
that
out to
means,
Los.
Milano boy, but okay.
Nah. When he show up, that's what he say. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? That's
okay,
just what he
okay.
say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Los, aka Crypto King. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Let's see. Jamil got a whole scripture right here. Says body piercing, shaved head, tattoos, any combination of those is instant disqualification. Being a gentleman sometimes can be I guess
A
can be a
detriment, yeah.
deterrent.
Yeah, it could be a
Detriment.
detriment. Yeah.
Damn, I
Nah,
can't
I
look. I'm
agree.
looking at it on my phone, so I'm saying, you know, being a nice guy can and will backfire.
Yeah, that's
True
true that.
indeed.
Jamel Edwards, man. I gotta agree with you with that, man.
But she got
That's that.
tattoos. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
try
why
to
I
pull up
say
the pictures. When you get to
you
the
gotta.
Isla, I'm gonna try to pull up the other pictures and stuff.
All right,
You know what I'm saying? So when y'all in Medellin, y'all can see this motherfucker coming. But I don't know how
right.
y'all can't identify this motherfucker with this big ass knot,
Well,
big ass book on.
she be switching her hair up and stuff too. You know, my boy said she look completely different when they seen her. You know, but the tattoos are real distinctive. So you see her tats
Yeah,
and the way she built, you
it's
can't miss her, dog.
true that. But she got a big old dot on her lip.
Yeah, that too. She
Can't
got the
hide
mole.
that.
So yeah, that's another teller right there. You feel me? So yeah,
Uh-huh. All Easton says you got out of that situation safe and not being set up. Yeah, it could have
true,
been worse. Cause see,
true.
like the dudes that's over there throwing up money now, all of a sudden, it's gonna happen to them. I give it 3 to 6 months, dog. You know, say
Right,
something bad gonna happen to them.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Since you don't have one good memory to fall back on, this was not worth it.
Yeah, you're
You
right
know.
about that, Vic. Hey, not what like listen, I'm not even finna he right, man. When you really sit back, it's like, yo, what man, y'all didn't even really have a good memory, man. I mean, well, if you want to say Cartagena, yeah, it was good at the time, but I mean, it was all BS, man. Not looking back at it, it was just all her playing the role, to get what she can get. And once I threw a monkey wrench in the mama plan, she got tight because it's like, oh
Right.
damn, well, I guess I ain't gonna have no money supply source no more. This boy, he finna flex. I thought he was finna be a simp and sit. Like, nah, man. After the day or
Right.
two, like I realized that real quick. I'm like, oh nah, baby, I got to get up out of here. I don't know what you got going on, but this ain't gonna work, and that's what it was, man. So yeah, I definitely agree with
Yes.
you, Vic.
Yeah, I ain't sending no hundreds. I ain't sending no hundreds to family. I damn
Right,
sure ain't finna send nothing like that overseas. Now, granted, I got a friend over in Medellin. I sent her what, like 35 or $25 to get her something to eat. She sent
right,
me a picture of the food, you know. So I went over there. I got with her. Then I got with the sister. When I go back, I'm gonna get the mom. You know what I'm
right.
saying? $35. You know.
That's it.
I'm just I'm just economizing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, man, let's see. Paul Uncle Rose says these life experiences are very good. I'm getting angry by this. Hey, yeah,
Hey,
I'm
listen,
kind of pissed off. You know what
I
I'm
I ain't
saying?
gonna lie to you, man. Y'all boys and everybody that I shared this with my boy Scorpio, and he shared it with DreeZ and a couple other dudes, and dudes is hot, man. Like dudes is really like on some vindictive stuff. I'm like, listen, man. At the end of the day, she played her role, but yeah, the ending part of it was the most egregious, and I'm like, something happened to her, man. I'm like, I'm in my 30s now, man. I'm not. When I was in my 20s, I would have been trying. I'm gonna keep it real to find somebody in Medellin to do some type of dirt. I would have been looking to pay somebody to get some get back because you do it
Right,
like that, you deserve some type of karma. But like, man, life gonna take care of it, man. Whether it's people like your subscribers, yourself, other people just being aware and starve her. And when I say starve her, not literally, obviously, but just like a euphemism. She let her get starved out. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like she don't get no money, man, or something like that. Like somebody recognize, hey man, that's that La Isla, La Isla scammer girl. Oh nah, we don't baby. You ain't a part of this group. You can't get no money. You stole enough
right,
money. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So yeah,
Yeah,
man, but yeah,
uh,
man, but
I took a motherfucker, like I said, I took a motherfucker to Exito and bought $35 of rice, meat,
Right,
and bread. You
right.
know what I'm saying? I'm about to fuck half their family.
You know how that,
But
that what
like,
I'm saying, man.
I'm
She
not,
was
I'm not
getting
doing no, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing nobody rent. Fuck that.
right. Now
You
that's
know,
one thing I tell any dude, man, any new guy, anybody, learn from listen. Don't invest no money. Period, man. Cause like, see, I did it backwards. You know, like I'm going out there next year for 6 to 9 months to stay. So that's what I should have did. You know, that's the time that you go and you familiarize yourself and trying to get you some regular girls, you know, and not try to grab a chick that you know is a dancer. I don't know what, you know, I got caught up with the idea of you know, a chick transitioning out of that because you thinking that, hey man, if somebody could show you something better, you know, most guys don't take, in my opinion, wouldn't take interest in a female. They like that. They'll just want to bang her out because she's a stripper, and that's what dudes come there to do. So I figure, hey man, you know, somebody show you some interest. You know what I mean? These girls looking for that. They just probably don't get them type of opportunities. That's what I was thinking at the time.
right,
But obviously, that was the wrong mindset, man, to have, and going into it with that type of mindset, man, because you were sitting duck. You know, I was a sitting duck. It's like a come up. You know, she probably like, damn, I got this dude, man. This is a come up of a lifetime. Probably her and her
right.
friends probably like, boy, you better milk it. That don't come around like that. So you better get what you can get, you know, and not even thinking like, hey, this could be a decent situation. But she ain't a decent person. So, you know,
Right.
can't really
Man,
expect
look,
that from somebody that ain't decent.
like I ain't trying to waste no time trying to save nobody. If they ain't trying to change themselves, hey, fuck it. I'm gonna just
Right,
use it for what I can use it for.
right.
You know, you gotta
Yeah,
be
man.
like they say, you can't ask for change. You gotta be the change. Well, you gotta be
Right,
the change.
right.
But anyway, Paul on parole says it's a lot tougher being a black dude in third world countries, man.
You
I
know,
mean, it is.
it is. You know, I've listened to different YouTube videos of dudes talking about being black in other countries and their perspective on it, and a lot of black dudes talk real positive about it, saying that they don't have issues like we have in the States with police brutality and stuff like that. But I still think that there's like a negative stigma that follows black men, like even in other countries, man. Like I
Well,
really do. Like it's, I'm not even gonna sit here and say that even being in Colombia for a month or visiting other places that I don't feel uncomfortable sometimes still. Just not being in my element, which ain't even safe itself in the United States. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. And I mean, I shouldn't feel like that, but sometimes I just don't feel safe. You know, I feel like, you know, like damn near like an endangered species, man. It's crazy. Like, and you outside of another country too, that just give you even more like, you know, anxiety about it too, being on pins and needles, for me at least. But I don't know how you feel about it though, Dre.
I mean, the biggest thing is the whole thing we got going on over here with the whole uh police killing, you know, black folks. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But I just came from Brazil, and the police arrest and murder rate over there
Hmm.
is 1 in 37. But the police
Okay.
arrest and murder rate here in the States is like 1 in 37,000. So, you
Wow.
know, I'm not gonna really say that I'm really on pins and needles like that because I'm in the States. I'm not. I don't have any record. I ain't got no reason to get out the cup. You know, when I get pulled over, police stop me. I ain't got no reason to fake a seizure. I ain't got no reason to do none of that kind of stuff. But when
Right,
I'm in Brazil, knowing how they get down over there,
right,
look, in the projects over there, the police don't go in there. They call the army niggas. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You know, they got a little 12. It's a 12-year-old on a moped right now riding around with a 223. I don't know if you know what that is. I ain't a gun
Yeah.
aficionado myself, but when I'm over there, you know, they tell me to sit down, I sit down. You know,
Right.
but I ain't really necessarily on pins and needles like that in the States, but I do know about, being in another country, you got that stigma following you, and then what ain't helping the stigma is how some of us are going overseas and acting.
Right.
That's not help. That's not helping to change around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So something that somebody else might do might come around and be a black cloud over your head.
Right.
You know. So it's not really, I'm more relaxed here. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of more tentative when I'm abroad, but sometimes when I want to get loose, I make sure I'm either to myself or in my place where I can do what I want to do and I don't have no problems. I pass out, I wake up, I got everything in my house, in
Right.
my apartment. I ain't tripping like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
moving further down the list before we get into the next portion, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Jamila was says if you're going to jail, you should have gave her the rock bottom, calmly collected your belongings and walked out. Well, yeah. Well, I know after saying what you're saying, I would have never asked her what you want. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have did that. I'd have just gave her something and went on, but got my stuff and left. You know, kind of correct right there, Jamil.
Yeah.
That's it. But Jack Addison said, "Hey, you got to lock me up."
Yo, listen, man, listen. Listen, when she said the 2 mil, yo, I swear I put my hands out, like I put my wrists out, man, because I was like, yo, it's like just take me to jail, man. But then, like I say, well, I'm happy it went down this way. But my friends was in the doorway by this time. They're like, yo, just pay the money, like. My boy was even like, yo, if you don't got the money, I'll get the money, man. You square me up later, man. Just know, he was like, you don't want to go to jail out here, man. He's like, it's
Exactly.
gonna be, he's like, it ain't worth it. He's like,
I ain't trying to go to jail nowhere.
and like, she don't understand. She understands a little bit of English, but not to the point where she gonna understand slang. So my boy's like, yo, it's not like she asked you for 6 bands. She asked you for $6. You feel me? Just give it to her. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. She ain't asked me for six
Whoa,
bands.
$6.
Well,
God damn, that's a deal, man. That's a deal.
down here in the South,
I'd give
we
a full
call
meal
like
for it.
we
You know
we
what I'm saying?
we use like dollar slang for like $100. $2 is like really 200. It's just some slang we use down here in Miami. So when my boy she asking for $6, she asking for 600, and he's like, she ain't asking for 6 bands, she ain't asking for 6,000. So he like, come on, man,
Gotcha.
just give her the $6. I'm like, all right, you're right, I'm tripping. He's like, why would you go to jail and it's holiday time? He's like, no, be smart about it. I'm just like, you're right,
Right.
man. Just take the L.
True that.
Oh,
This
Dorian,
is
this is
a good
good, man.
I got you. This is a good story because some brothers need to hear this and know that just because most things are sweet for us overseas, you still have to use your discernment. True.
You're right. Yeah, that's exactly like my boy was saying, man. After all that happened, we was talking, and him and this girl was like, he was like, yo, I just knew. He was like, dog, he's like, look at how she looks. She looks like she looked like a working girl, man. He's like, I mean, you being out here, you would see that. You would understand that a lot of these girls, it almost is like rinse repeat, man. They mimic each other. They all kind of have like similar looks. And he's like, man, I just knew it. But it,
Right.
sometimes you just got to go through the lessons, man, and go through the fire, man, yourself. I jumped
Right.
head first into it. If you think about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So it sounds like dude was in love. I ain't gonna say that. What I will say was the man was invested. I will say that
exactly.
much.
Yeah, I was
You
invested. I invested obviously bread and a lot of time too. Um,
know?
you know, so yeah, it was an
See,
investment.
that language barrier, and that language barrier you was talking about. This is why Spanish is important in Spanish speaking countries. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, I can read it and figure out what they're saying, but sometimes in certain places, say like in DR, they ain't speaking Spanish. They speaking Dominican over there. They go to speaking fast and shit. I get all lost in translation
Yeah,
fucking around.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It
Real
definitely
basic.
is, man. It I'm gonna say this, like knowing Spanish definitely obviously changes the game, man. It changes the game with chicks. You know, it's harder for a girl to be able to run game on you when you can actually talk to them. You know, it's going. I mean,
Right,
depending on how good your Spanish is, if you get it to that level, but it takes time still. Even if you learn the Spanish and you speak good conversational Spanish, you can still get lost. And it's not hard for an actual local to just switch up their Spanish and for example, just start using certain slangs that you don't know to throw you off and keep you out of the conversation. Like I said, I can speak conversational Spanish, but when she went to talking, she changed her whole tone. The dialect was different when she went to talking to the officer. So just as an
right,
example, you still could get screwed. You know what I mean? Like you still can get
right,
it. It really doesn't matter unless you just fluent. If you fortunate enough to be fluent, then okay, it's different. But I mean, that takes time, man. Um,
right,
so shit. I mean, at least I was good enough to talk to the dude and kind of explain to him what was going on and understand what he was telling me. Because of I might have agreed to something that I didn't understand and end up getting cussed on me. So yeah, it is important. But I would just say, don't think that because you can speak some good conversational Spanish that would prevent you from finding yourself outside looking in, man. Because it really won't. Because if that ain't your language, it's easy for them to like manipulate the language, man, and just completely throw you off.
right.
So yeah.
True that. Global Paper says, I have told you guys many times I learned Portuguese and Spanish. Well, I did my couple of Spanish classes with the sensei. Shout out to
Mm.
Let's Learn Spanish. And I'll be starting my Portuguese classes next month with my homegirl, Carol. You know what
It
I'm saying?
is
So,
it's Yeah, man, I
go ahead.
agree with Global Paper. For me, I'm putting Portuguese aside. I really want to focus on Spanish. I learned most of my Spanish through just self practice and being in Miami. It's a lot of Hispanics down here, and um,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a son. I got a son that's a 5-year-old son, and he's half Cuban. His mom is Cuban, so
Right,
he knows Spanish. His his grandparents, they don't really speak no English. So when I was rocking with his mom still a few years ago, um, I was still learning some Spanish just being around by default. But even when I come to Colombia in April, that's the target date. Man, I'm signing up for classes while I'm out there,
right,
just to because I want to try to perfect the language. And the better you get, the
right.
better experience you're gonna have, man. And especially for me, I'm
Exactly.
trying to do business, so I don't have a choice.
Right,
I gotta know Spanish, man. Like can't really do
right.
business not knowing it.
Just getting the basics down where you could just have a short conversation, it kind of enhances it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just,
Yeah, like
you know,
that's like for me, I'm at that point where I can have some basic conversations and stuff like that, which is good. Girls love it, man. Or especially if you're making an effort and you know some Spanish. But for me, it's a higher pursuit because, like I said, I'm about like my focus is the business, man. So when you start talking about legal termination, like like legal documents and stuff like that and terms and being able to talk to like lawyers and like yeah, that's on another level, man. You got to be able to communicate with them, um unless you're gonna have somebody that's your business partner that's bilingual. But it's good to know how to do it yourself, man, if you're gonna be in these countries, like my man said. So I definitely agree with that for sure. Practice as much as you can. Do what you got to do, man. Apps, teachers, whatever language, Portuguese, Spanish, just lock in, man. Um,
right.
just it's gonna make anybody experience better within that residing country, whatever it is, man.
Right.
So yeah, for sure, I definitely agree with that.
And somebody remember the DreeZism. Says the bride beats the bullet. Or in this case, a jail cell. And
Yep,
you went way back, Jamil. You went
yep,
back to Sasua on that one, man.
yep.
You know what I'm
But I
saying?
agree though.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
I agree.
Some of that. Oh, shout out to
We did.
Hameen in the building. Says I have already had to take a PCR test and complete the declaration form, so I'm not sure how much stricter it could get. Uh, are there going to be stricter um restrictions in Colombia moving forward? You know
You
what's
know,
going
I
on with
haven't.
that?
I gotta look it up. I don't know. I know that they're on the curfew right now. I actually left on Sunday. I got out of there right on time because the last week I was there, they started messing with the curfew. It went from 2 a.m. down to 12 midnight, and then down to 10 o'clock. The last few days I was there, and now I'm hearing it's to 8 o'clock. So they definitely moving in the wrong direction. I can tell you that if they pushing it back, and apparently they're gonna do it until like the beginning of January. So um, as of right now, I haven't heard any restrictions to the country, only from the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom right now has some type of new COVID strain or something, and a lot of countries
Yeah,
banning them from being able to
yeah.
come over.
They kind of like shut down international everything altogether.
Right,
If you in the UK, you can't leave at all.
right,
They, nothing's happening over there.
right,
They've been shut UK airports down for like at least 2 weeks, but it's
right.
just making the news stuff right now.
So the good thing is, I will say at Hyman 100 that the PCR test I know is no longer needed to go to Colombia. They stopped that like early November. Like you don't have to take the no, I'm sorry. The the PCR test. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take it anymore. Only thing they ask you to do is the declaration form. And that's it. To enter the country and then exit when you're getting ready to leave. So they stopped that like I think it was like November 5th or something like that. Y'all can fact check me on that, but I'm almost certain it was like November 5th. They made an announcement that you don't have to do it. But if I were you, man, I would still go online and double check because stuff can change by the day. They can tomorrow be like, yo, if you coming over, you got to do a test again. So I mean, if you already did it, you good to go. It's better to be on the safe side anyway, you know.
Right,
Um, so
right.
yeah.
All right. I won't keep you here too much longer. So let's get into the next part of this. The whole Isla thing.
Okay, yeah. So with that, so just taking a step back real quick. So after I left the house and everything, and I told you that I want to grab me an Airbnb, I scheduled it for 2 weeks. Um, so I'm in the Airbnb. A week done passed. I'm chilling, man. I'm doing my thing. So I had another boy come in town, right? Um, he was throwing a birthday party at La Isla. It's another strip club there. Now that's the only strip club that's open right now, I believe, in Medellin. So that's like the only show in town. So whoever's stripped, most of the girls are gonna be working there. So my boy that came in town, he was begging me, man, begging me to come out. That it was a Saturday, that following Saturday. He's like, yo, come to La Isla, man. I'm gonna have a section. We're gonna turn up and everything. I'm like, all right, I'll be there. But for some reason, I just wouldn't. I don't know. I'm pretty sure somebody can relate. If so, you can put it in the chat. But like, you ever been in a situation like where you say you're gonna do something, but your body just won't let you do it? I just, for some reason, I just couldn't get the energy to get up, to go and iron clothes and do all of that. I just was like, I just don't feel like going for whatever reason. So
Right.
a chick hits me up that I had messed with a couple of days before I had met out there. She hits me up. She's like, hey, I really enjoyed myself the other day. She's like, yo, I don't want no bread from you or nothing like that. I just want to come and vibe with you because I like your vibe, man. You seem like a decent dude. I said, all right. I said, you know what? Come through tonight. In my mind, I'm like, for whatever reason, I don't feel like going to La Isla. I'm just going to chill with this chick. So I chilled with the girl instead of going to La Isla. She came through. So the next day I wake up, I look at my phone. I got like 5 missed video calls from my other boy, the boy that helped me with the situation at the chick's house, the dude I was telling you I stayed at his crib with his girl. He went to
Right.
La Isla that same night too with my other boy that was in town. Apparently La Isla was lit that night. And he called me like 5 times. So I called him back. I said, what's up, man? He was like, yo, your chick work out here, dog. I was like, what? And he was like, dog, I'm at the table vibing. And he was like, my girl nudges me. I was like, yo, ain't that's J chick? And he was like, at first he couldn't tell because he was like, yo, she looked completely different. She had all this crazy makeup on, and you know, her hair was fixed different. And she came to their table and then realized it was them. He was like, when she saw it was them, her mouth dropped. She spun around and took off, and they never come back to the area. You know what I mean? So he was like, yo, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, you know what? That must have been a sign, man. That I was, because I was, you know, obviously I was still pissed off. Who knows how I would have reacted? Because I'm telling you, I would have been on that bottle. You know, you just never know. I'd have been on that
Yeah.
bottle, man, with my boy or something, vibe dot. And it might have been like a state property scene. I would have looked up and seen her. You don't know how I would have reacted. You know what I mean? I probably would have went to jail for real. Like
Right.
all that, and you been stripping all this time too. To add to, oh man, you got to get it. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
So
hey,
it'd have been time for that. It'd have been time for the people's elbow.
right. She would have had to get it then. If I'd have looked up and seen her after all that, and you out here barefaced still dancing like it's sweet, you know, like I'm like, man, oh, I'm like, you know, I'm glad it didn't go down that route. I'm like, it worked out. I stayed my behind at the crib. I was chilling with another girl. You know, yeah, whatever. But so I'm like, okay, so she been dancing all this time too. I ain't surprised. I mean, obviously, the whole dealing was based off of nothing but lies and finessing anyway. So it didn't shock me when he told me. Now I was just like, well, it makes sense now. You know, it makes sense now. She dancing all night, and that's how she, you know, she want to go out and dance and get her money and stuff like that. Stuff starting to make sense now more clearly. Little things that she told me prior, you know, that I was just kind of like, okay, you know, I take her word for it. Now it made sense. I'm like, okay, she was just dancing this whole time. Okay. You know, and I just kind of left it at that. Like, all right, I know she work at La Isla, so I could tell dude, you know, look out for her at La Isla, man. You see this girl, you need to go the opposite way. She bad news, man. Like she ain't. I just wouldn't like risk dealing with a chick that would be willing to do something like that. So that was really it with La Isla, man. I didn't go see her. I ain't had no desire to go because I don't want to put myself in that position, man. Like I don't want to be, you know, nowhere around a chick. I just keep my distance, do me, move forward. And like I say, man, life will take care of her. Something might happen to her. I don't know. You know, who knows? She might, I don't know. You know, like I try not
Right.
to stress it, man. It's just like, yo, it was just a bad situation. I learned from it. When I come back to Medellin, I got a different mindset now and approach when it comes to the chicks. I talked to my boy about it. You know, he like, man, you down here. I mean, she's down here, you up here, man. Like, it happens, you know, whatever, man. Those type of girls, they comfortable with that life, man. That's what they want to do. You know, she's 22. Maybe she
Yeah.
gonna want to do that for a long time. Who knows? So, hey, that's
No, no,
on her.
no, no, no. If she ain't trying to change, I don't give a shit what school she trying to go to. She gonna be there at 42. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, but 42. Well, I ain't gonna get into it anyway, man.
Right.
Paula Perot said she definitely did have a habit to feed. You mentioned she threw your 50-pound bag at the wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she threw that bag
yeah.
at the
She
wall,
probably
man.
she, She was probably on that Tuesday.
She, you know what, man? I wouldn't be surprised if she was, man, because now that you mention it, the first day I got to the crib, to her spot, she had a blunt wrapper on the table, and then she had a blunt in the wrapper. But at Columbia, they sell these kind of like pre-roll blunts where the
Yeah.
weed is like on the outside of it. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of smoked like a Black and Mild, but a little bit better. But the reason I bring that up is before, when we used to talk in the past, like when we talked about smoking, because I smoke trees, I smoke weed. It is what it is. But she told me, she was like, well, I don't smoke. I don't like smoking. All I do is drink. So then when I got there, I seen the weed. So I'm like, damn, so you smoke now? And she was like, oh, yeah, well, my homegirl gave it to me and I tried it. And she, you know what I mean? Just obviously it was a lie. So, if she doing that, she probably doing the 2C too. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe she is doing the 2C on the side, So it's
Yeah.
possible, It's
That shit
possible.
turn motherfuckers into monsters, man.
It could be. She could be snorting coke. I don't know, man. It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Right, right. Well, it is what it is, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
for a final thought, leave coming from the comment section on the good note. Can be says J Flex, you can only go up from here.
Oh yeah, man. Most definitely, man. Shout out to Cam B, man. For real. Like I said, man, I'm on the up and up. I'm optimistic about my future in Colombia, man. It was just, a bad situation. I'm glad I got out of it alive. No arrests. Just some money I lost, obviously. But, I learned from it, man. Like I say, just you got to treat all these females the same, man. Just they're willing to sell their body and do whatever it takes, man, to make that money. I just treat them all the same, man. That's how I would do it until somebody show you something different. Like, all the
There you go.
game they try to run, just leave it at as it is, man. Just make it, hey, I understand what it is. If I'm gonna spend excess amount of bread, that's cool, but you do what you gotta do in Colombia. I ain't saying treat the females bad, but just keep it in perspective, man. And do what you gotta do and just leave it there in Colombia. You go back to the States, don't be no Western Union poppy like me, I was, man. I ain't no bread getting sent. Unless
Right.
you build that relationship up with somebody over the course of time and you know that she actually like you. You know what I mean? Like she actually
Well,
care about
for us,
you.
as far as talking about the next chick, Easton came right on time with it, and I was about to say it myself. You know what I'm saying? Don't be telling any chicas the South story; they would take advantage of you as well. I was just about to say that shit, man. Shout out to Mr.
Oh yeah.
Easton, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
this ain't something that I would share with another chica for sure. Nah, I definitely agree with you there, R. Easton, for sure. Nah. Yeah, I had already had that sold up already, man. So definitely won't be doing that.
Shout out to POP. Let's see how they gave it a $2 challenge. Indeed, man. Indeed, man. Well, look, I'm glad you were able to come here. You had the balls to come and share your story with us tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish you have a good interview over there on Roller Tape Channel whenever you connect with him, man. But for sure, man, people, remember this face. This girl, man. You
Yeah.
see in the Isla, leave her in the Isla. You know what I'm saying? Because the ones that do that, I mean, I don't care how fine he is. You gotta leave them alone.
Right.
Period.
For sure. For sure.
Definitely gotta leave them alone. Well, man, you got any last words?
Yeah, man, it's just wanted to thank you again for bringing me on your podcast, man. I appreciate it, letting me voice, my experience, with this chick. And yeah, man, I look forward to viewing some more of your content. And like I said, man, you know, brothers just need to be aware of the levels that some of these females will go to, man, to try to extort and get money. So, you just got to be careful. Just keep your head on the swivel. Don't just remember, like for real, man, just remember where you at, the mindset of these chicks, and, you just handle your business, but just keep it in this proper perspective, man. Just treat them all the same to avoid getting set up and put in these positions, man, when they getting you for your money, and even worse, putting you in a position to get set up, robbed, go to jail. You know what I mean? It ain't worth it at the end of the
Right.
day. So that was all, man. That was all I wanted to say as some parting remarks. But anytime, man, I appreciate it. Um, Anytime you need me to come on and do any type of content or something, or if I can
Right.
provide some substance to your
Definitely.
channel, I got you.
Right. Definitely, what you can do is definitely hook up with me because I like hooking. I like talking to my subscribers because we live in a world where the subscribers put the guy that they subscribe to up. I like putting you know I like putting the people that subscribe to me up, man. So whenever
Right.
you're back out traveling, man, that's when I would like to connect with you again.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be definitely in April. I'll be going back to Colombia. Hey, Jamel Edwards got me rolling. He got to put on blast like that. That's what you got to do, so because it can stick in your memory bank.
Right.
What you got to do.
I kind of think about it. That picture right there, that kind of do look like a little mug shot. You know
You're
what I'm
right.
saying? Because jails overseas that they actually have a background like that. They ain't got no. I should be off phone where it had the county name in
Right.
the background. Now they just
Right.
have you stand up against stand up next to these curtains, bitch. You know what I'm saying? And they snap it. Man,
Right.
you don't give a shit about no background. We know how you look. So that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, at least you home for Christmas, bro.
Oh yeah.
That much I can
Yeah.
say.
I'm home for Christmas,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
So yeah, for sure, man. Couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, man.
You know. And one last comment. I missed the damn. It ain't come up over here. Cause I'm looking at it on my phone and on my laptop, and the shit on my laptop coming up faster than it is on my phone. But LK says it's illogical how some women reject being treated good. Nah, it's not they reject being treated good. It's that they're entitled to be assholes regardless. That's
Right.
what it is at the end of the day. And they ain't just talking about, well, for me, it is kind of talking like black women because it's kind of like all I dealt with in the States.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One time I had some real relief was when I was dealing with the black woman from Panama here. And that was finished dealing with her. That's what made me say, you know what? I might as well go check out Panama if this how they rocking. You know what I'm saying? I was coming home to a clean house and food and shit. Shit. The black chick I had before her, man, she couldn't cook or nothing. You know, I like to hear
Damn.
this. You know, it's somehow they could just give you a sandwich of the potato chips. You get mad as shit. Then they give you a head job, and then you be like, okay, I like the sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And then instead of you being fed every day, you just getting head every day. And it's like, okay. And then the next chick was like that. Then the next chick was like that. Then the next chick was like that. And it was like, it's like I keep walking in and out of sex scenes. So when I met the Panamanian chick and I lived with her for a little bit, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead out there, you know. But not to say that all of them cherish me and all that. It seemed like before I started traveling, the people that were traveling were saying, "Oh, they love the black man. They love the black man." But get to this year here,
Yeah.
that shit flipped. You know
It
what I'm
flipped,
saying?
man. It flipped. It definitely, it man, it's just I'm with LK, man. It is illogical to me because you just looking at if you just look at it just from the perspective of just the livelihood and the circumstance that most of these women come from, and it's like the average dude, like I say, is coming over there, man, to have fun, do what he got to do, and keep it moving. They ain't trying to even slow up for a second to try to even notice you, yet alone, try to invest any type of time into you and be nice to you, or invest anything, period. So yeah, it does like blow my mind, but I mean, again, man, these chicks are hardwired, man, just different. This is how I rationalize it, like they hardwired different, man. That's how they raised. They don't know how to receive that, maybe they got like some sort of a barrier up or something. They don't, maybe they run from that. I don't know. I ain't Dr. Phil, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to rationalize it. Like they just hardwired different. And it's cool, but
Right.
you just gotta understand that, when you go into it, you can't come in there, man, trying to be nice and a gentleman, like somebody mentioned earlier, man. When you do that, they look for that. That's like, oh yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Okay, I'm gonna play on that, So especially with them type of girls, like I said, man, the environment where you get them from, it really does make a big difference. Because there's decent girls in Colombia. Don't get it twisted. But
Oh no, yeah.
you can't roll in no Fase Dos thinking you're gonna get a decent
No,
girl.
no, 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 no,
You
no,
can't
no,
roll.
no.
You
You
can't do that.
you can't
You
go
know.
in Medellin and get her because I'm guessing if she got tattoos, she got a tattoo of Jesus somewhere. She got a necklace of Jesus somewhere. All of them love Jesus. All of them love
Right.
the Lord. Fucking around in Medellin, you don't know whether you're getting pre-Jesus or post-Jesus Mary Magdalene. You don't know what you're getting out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of them love. All of them is Virgin Mary and Mary Magdalene at the same time. You just don't know what you're getting out there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know,
Yeah.
Medellin is not the place to find love. It's like Sasua West. You can't find
Yeah.
love out there.
I definitely I can agree with that. Um I'm not gonna say it's impossible, man,
No, it's not.
because I don't know enough about the city yet, and if I've been living there for a good amount of time, it'll be, I can have more credibility on speaking on that.
Well,
Um,
well, let me ask you
but
this, man. I mean,
so,
I was trying to get you off of here, but since you done brought up the city and travel now, where have you been elsewhere in the city? Like, where are you staying? Like, where are you staying right now?
well,
Well, been.
I'm back in Miami right now. I'm back at the
Well,
crib.
where you were staying?
Oh,
Where were you
okay.
staying in Medellin?
In Medellin, well, I was staying in the area Leredas. So that's
All
I
right,
was staying,
cool.
yeah, I was staying close by La Setenta, which I'm
Okay.
sure you're
So you
familiar
were,
with.
yeah, yeah, that's where my apartment is. My apartment is like right around the corner from Los Molinos,
Okay.
the mall out
Uh,
there.
right. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I'm all I was, like I said, I was in Itagüí briefly for like a week. I visited an area called Berlin. I was over there playing ball with my boy and kind of toured
Yeah,
around.
that's the
Um,
Berlin. In other
Berlin.
words, I think that's the translation for Bethlehem.
I
You know what I'm
believe
saying?
so. I believe so.
B is Belen. Berlin.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where my apartment is. That's
Okay.
that's the next block over. It was on Kaji 30.
Okay. So
You know,
um
yeah,
I uh I went there by that area, and obviously Poblado, man, because I spent a lot of time in Poblado because my boy's apartments are over there, and that's Poblado is Poblado, man. He right around the corner from Yaras Park, where all the action be at and the clubs and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm thinking when I come there, I like Loretta's, man. That area, it's cool. It's not too crowded like Poblado. You know,
What is not is not too healing. Like
right?
cause like when I went back to Medellin for the, I was like, I said I'm gonna stay in this neighborhood this time, stay in that neighborhood next time. Next time I stayed in Las Palmas. Las Palmas. Las Palmas is not that healing. So I said,
Right.
you know what? I like this spot here. Everything is flat, but see that fucking Poblado and what was it? I forgot what's next to it. Man, you either
Oh,
walking up a
Provenza,
hill,
right? Provenza, yeah.
yeah, you either walking up a hill or down a fucking hill. I
Yeah,
got tired of that shit.
yeah,
So I'm glad my knees ain't fucked up because you got bad knees and ankles and shit. You
yeah.
definitely
Poblado.
yeah, Poblado is not the place for you.
Nah, it ain't. Hey,
You know what
Jamel
I'm saying? But
Elwood, shout out to Jamel Elwood, man. That's real. That's real, man.
right,
We ain't never be able to overcome a woman's social pro. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I don't even try to figure it out no more, man. Honestly, because it's, once you realize the situation ain't for you, you just need to cut bait and keep it moving. Just be smart about it,
right.
man. Because hey, to each his own, man. That's her. That's those type of women. Um, so yeah, man. But yeah, I'm going to definitely consider living in that area for 6 months, man. And I'm gonna look around too. But I mean, the city, you already know, man. The city got a lot to offer, man. It has a lot to offer too.
Yeah,
I'm just, I'm focused on going to different social settings, man. That the social crowd difference in like different social areas, man. That you'll find like different type of women that only would be found in those particular areas, man, or settings,
yeah.
and
You
it's
gotta go
different.
over. Yeah, like I always when I go there, I always go to Popular. Popular is like I go to the top of Popular. You know how they got the sky cables and everything. They got
Yeah,
a neighborhood at the top of the hill called Santo Domingo.
yeah,
I always go there, bro. Like the best chicken. Like they kill they got their chicken up there. They kill it up there, clean it, cook it right there. You know, drumsticks taste like white meat. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got none of that shit in it. You know what I'm saying? Hamburgers ain't got none of that stuff in it. Then by you being up in the air, they gotta have a lot of they ain't got it all spiced up and stuff like that. That's the best. That's where I found the best food at up in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Travel Medic. He says good conversation, fellas. I think Medellin is not the best place in Colombia to find to wife a chick. There are more non-tourist spots. That's ideal. I mean, of course. You know what I'm saying? You know, my place, as far as that is concerned, is maybe I shouldn't tell y'all because maybe some of y'all dollar throwers up in here. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's a little bit north of Cartagena. You know, I ain't gonna say the name, but that's my spot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Melvin Riddle, man. Appreciate you. But Jado, man, fellas, we finna get on up out of here, man. I'd like to give a shout out to my guest, uh, J Flex, for coming here. He had the balls to show up and tell us his story. Cause a Negro like me would have kept that shit all to myself. You know, but as I always say, man, y'all make sure that y'all continue to walk that peaceful path that makes you happy. Do what the fuck you want to do, what makes you happy, instead of walking that tightrope giving that makes other people comfortable with your being miserable. So
right.
for myself, from my man J Flex, for the Black Travel Sector, this is DreeZ, and I'll see y'all on the next rendition of Late Night Dreams. Peace.
Peace out for sure.
Oh, no, 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 no.